You should just move.
That's what John said.
Should've just moved.
Now I got exactly how to like it, so.
Some nice houses up by me going in there.
Are those selling
Yeah, there, I'm,
Just move that way.
who's that?
athletes?
Keep it right on.
Scares me also.
Understand. Yeah, there's three places right now under control.
That's fun.
Put out signs every weekend.
They do.
Yeah, those drive you crazy.
I think if the interest rates go down, they'd sell out, but I don't know how they're doing it. A lot more money than I've got.
Bill's not here. Do I have a volunteer for the pledge and prayer?
I will.
You will? Okay, thank you. 3 minutes till showtime.
And the rescues it for the most that's over there.
Pardon?
The birds fire over there with that. The rain and stuff.
He said it's doing pretty good. He said, the fire was such a fast moving fire that they should have a lot of root structure. So, yeah.
It's kind of, so the girls.
I'm counting on you for a glass cleaner today.
Carry on around.
I am reliable.
Thank you. I was with my grandson last night at a soccer game, and he was putting on the glasses on and off. And
Touching all over.
I said,
And
well,
today, all day,
I said-
you've been.
I said, well, at least I'll have.
Do you put some of those in your pocket every morning?
No, well, I
You
had,
just happen to have them?
they're all over the manufacturing plant.
Um,
The spray bottles are, so I clean my glasses a lot at work, but I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I touch them.
2 minutes, 2 minutes. till
But anyway,
showtime.
I thought,
Enjoy popcorn.
I did
If
the, I
there's
did
anything you're gonna remember me for, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be-
Glass
the
cleaner.
glass cleaner, right?
I was party
I
last
think we
night.
got a delay on our cameras.
Truck sold out.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Good.
Just saying.
That's weird.
Dave's on.
Uh-huh. Talking to Jeremiah there. Wait a minute.
Little delayed.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, aren't you the
That's,
deputy chief?
we're worried about Jeremiah cussing and we want to be able to bleep it.
You need one of those buttons right there. Eject button.
1 minute till showtime. We're gonna cruise tonight. We're all gonna go home and have a happy day. Did you love the rain? Did you love the rain today or? Me and my wife sat out on the patio, in covered patio, and just sit there and watched it rain. It was great.
It was wonderful.
Was it warm? Lee was running with Tracy somewhere and they got drenched. But I'm like, count your blessings. It's great. Great way. At least you weren't out in your nice clothes. Yeah, it's nice rain.
Okay, are we ready? Recording and all's good to go. All right, I'll call to order this Pleasant View City Council meeting this Tuesday, August 26, 2025 at 6 p.m. Welcome, everybody. We'll start with item 1A, is the Pledge of Allegiance, opening prayer reading and expression of thought. And Steve's going to fill in for Phil.
Audience, please rise. Pledge allegiance after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we're already thankful for this opportunity we have to serve the residents of Pleasant View at this time. We ask that thy spirit be with us as we make decisions that will help city in the future, that they'll be smart and well thought of. We're thankful for the first responders. We ask to be with them as they put their life on the line for us. Thankful for the police and fire and their public works. Please be with them. We again thankful for all that we have. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Steve. Item 1B is declaration of conflicts of interest. Have you reviewed the agenda? Are there any conflicts to declare?
No.
All right, we'll move on to 1C, public comments. Any member of the public wish to address the mayor of the council? Seeing none, we'll move to item 2, the minutes of August 12th, 2025, and bills of Pleasant View City. I just have a question about minutes. Are we using any sort of AI or system to generate our minutes? Because if not, we should look into that.
I was gonna say,
She
Lauren's
tried.
doing them, I bet you.
She mentioned she tried something like that, ChatGPT.
And then used it a couple of times and then she realized it doesn't really understand
Okay.
other cells that kind of refine the process on
Huh.
AI. I build, they use our AI, but then they back into AI to like. sort it to the-
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that use it. I think it's called Summary AI, which for meetings, they just record the meetings. I don't know if you've ever seen, I think like Matt Dixon does, any meeting I'm in with him, he sends out this thing like within a half hour after the meeting's over and it's
It
all.
wouldn't like take, AI sometimes embellishes it, ChatGPT, but
Well, yeah, you'd have to
so-
sort of review it. So, all right, just curious. So I'd entertain a motion for the consent item unless there's changes.
not that it matters, but the September 11th for the pickleball ribbon cutting is wrong. It's supposed to be September 10th.
Yeah, well, that
It
was,
right at the
that was right at the time. So in the meetings,
At 4
Uh,
p.m.
yeah, so the new one is September 10th to 4, but that's what, yeah, we talked about, so. Okay,
Mayor, I'll make the motion to approve the consent items as stated
I'll second that.
or as
motion.
written.
motion by Gibson, second by Yuri, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries, all voting aye. Item 3, Community Wildfire Preparedness Plan, CWPP. Discussion of possible action to consider adopting the Community Wildlife Preparedness Plan.
Welcome. Good evening, everybody, mayor, city council, and staff. Board effectively got out that I was gonna be presenting today, so I got the crowd. Sorry about that, but you guys have to, so I'll try to keep it super brief. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Jeremiah Jones. All right. Deputy Fire Chief at Northview Fire District. Recently, about 2 years ago, we hired a new fire chief at Northview Fire. And he's come in and we've changed some of the portfolio items that we're in charge of. And so I've been given the opportunity to be in charge of the wildland program and focus on that. And as you all know, we have quite an extensive history of wildfire and we just recently had the one in North Ogden that I'm sure you all saw. And
Really?
so I wanted to come by and just let you know what the community wildland preparedness plan is, protection plan is, and then how it pertains to you as the city, and then answer any questions that you might have, and ultimately, hopefully get your buy-in to help support our initiative in the program. So,
Not superstitious,
yeah,
but she sent me an email just about a week before.
yeah. Did I get your attention?
Yeah, I don't know if we should talk about this.
Yeah, kind of crazy how it all happened, but we've been actually working on this stuff for a long time, and a lot of the stuff we do is in the off season, which is shorter and shorter every year. As climate change and things continue to heat up, the fires go longer into the fall and even extend some into the winter, which is pretty crazy. So the big part of this plan is, and why it's important for you as a city is because it's kind of like an insurance program. So if you remember back in 2016 when we had the Pole Patch Fire, you remember, maybe those of you that were around remember the city getting a bill that was not cheap, that caught everybody by surprise. So before this program came into play, that's what happened is, if it started within the city, and we ordered all these resources up, somebody had to pay for that. And, that wasn't really the way that they had it, at the time with just going to the city. So they thought of a better way that we could, do more meaningful work and try to do a lot of preventative, maintenance, and then
hopefully mitigate a lot of the problems before they start and hopefully reduce the amount of money that we have to spend if we do get a wildfire. So the program is that we go around with the state representatives. Weber County has a fire warden that works for the state and is kind of our liaison. And we drive around the area, we look at all the risks and we determine like where our biggest risks are. And you're not gonna be surprised that pole patches at the top of that list. And they look at things like access, they look at vegetation, they look at water supply and all sorts of things like that. And so pole patches at the top of the list, and then also the cove, just west of where the fire happened, is also right up there at a high risk with pole patch. So when we identify those areas, there's 3 categories that we break things down into. So there's preparedness, there's mitigation, and there's prevention. And so the state determines an overall risk assessment of our whole district, and they say, all right, Northview, your area is like a moderate risk, and so we're going to charge you about our matching portion is $18,000, and so we every year need to come up with $18,000 worth of mitigation work that fits into one of those 3 categories, so that if we do get a wildfire, the state covers that bill, and nobody gets charged for that. Now, of course, there's subrogation and they go after responsible parties, but it doesn't have to go through the cities at all. And so we've identified several projects this year that we're going to be working on. We've got quite a few completed. We've done a lot of the fire hydrant inspections in the wildland urban interface to make sure that they're functioning well, that their caps can come off easily, that we can open them up if we need to. We purchased a brush truck a couple of years ago for, I think it was $268,000, I believe. And so that falls in the preparedness category. Any personal protective equipment that we purchase, we can write off a portion of that for preparedness. And then some of the mitigation projects we're going to be doing some chipper projects up in the pole patch and up in the cove. It's hard to get people's attention, even with all the stuff going on in California. We were hopeful that more people would want to be involved. This spring of this year, we went out and hung 250 door hangers and offered to go do inspections for anybody that would like one. And we received 6 people that responded to that. I think we're going to get a little more this next year, we hope.
Within just those 2 areas?
Yeah, just in those 2 areas, yeah. So the state's also working on initiatives to make home inspections and yard inspections mandatory. So there's a House bill that's in play for that, but I don't have a lot of details on that quite yet on how that's going to work because they don't know. But so we've submitted $44,000 worth of mitigation work, preparedness work, and prevention work to the state for this year, and that will be done at the end of the year. So really just looking for your guys' support as a city to help us help you so that you don't get a bill that you don't want to pay. And hopefully we anticipate working closely with you as we identify maybe some other projects. We might need your help to clear the power road, get with Rocky Mountain Power. They've been hard to get a hold of. But we can do things like that to really make a dent in fire mitigation and prevention before we have a bad fire. So if the wind would have shifted, instead of the way it shifted, if it would have came back towards Pleasant View, we would have been in big trouble. So that area up in the cove is full of oak brush and thick vegetation that could pull 50 to 60 foot flame lengths, and it would just carry it. So we lucked out. We hope people aren't lulled to a false sense of security, that we did an awesome job as a team. But that's kind of the idea in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions?
So your ask today is just
to approve this.
Yeah, just to support it, that there's really not anything we're asking from you as a city, other than, we just need your buy-in and support for the actual document to go back to the state.
Go ahead.
Dave and I both have a question.
One question there too, this way.
So, and this is, you're not gonna have an answer for this, but along that power line trail or our trail system up there, there's a tremendous amount of that grass stuff up there. And every time I go hiking up there, I just think, oh man, if anybody did anything, it's just so dry.
Yeah.
Can we kill that or mow that or, anything with that type of, because, that, oak brush or whatever that is, that's gonna burn too, but that cheatgrass stuff is just
Yeah.
such a, I don't know, that fire line or whatever, it goes along the power line trail, but you go up to our trailhead and just, walk, and
It'd
it's,
be a good spring project for the youth.
yeah, just something to,
When I was at church asking for youth. projects.
man, I just, every time I go up there, I think, man, this is, and the grasshoppers are horrible anyway, if we could kill the grasshoppers too. But that,
We,
Yeah, that's a good
Now we
point.
know why.
we do have options for, like what we're gonna do, to reseed over in North Ogden where the burn scar is there's grants available, to replant with more native grasses.
yeah,
And so we can do that. There's a lot of cities, as I've researched this, that around the United States and out of the United States that have created a green belt of irrigated, basically a
Yeah.
swath of irrigated land
But
all
just-
the way around.
but something outside the box, and I appreciate what you're saying, but just, that stuff, I wish, it's like trying to get rid of that Dyer's Road, you're never gonna get rid of it. It's there, but if you could cut it down in the spring or something,
Yeah.
and just have something that would help that, I don't know what that would even look like, it's such a big place, but man, that.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. You said $18,000 is what is mandatory? Is that just for Northview or is that the city?
Northview and Pole, so
Okay,
Harrisville has a lot less risk, so it's really divided up. Between North Ogden and Pleasant View, there are some patches of higher risk in Harrisville, but not many.
but you submitted 44,000, so you're going above that because
Yeah.
you're doing a work.
Yeah.
Might as
so-
well submit it if you're doing it.
They have to approve it and there is a carryover from year to year, but it's not, they don't like to see that much of a carryover, but. There are other options to the plan, like, if we decided that we don't wanna do any projects. Northview could just pay the $18,000 out of our budget. But for us, it feels like that's like a really easy way out and it defeats the purpose of the program. We wanna do meaningful work. We want to go out and try to make some efforts in the prevention. And we believe that we can make an impact if we do that, so.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, prevention, I think, is a great approach. I don't know all the details of it. I'd love to hear more about it, but how the fire started in North Ogden, but what are we doing? Looking at those fires and looking at what can we do to prevent those ones and I don't know what the one was here. Was it lightning that caused this one? I can't remember what.
I think it was human cause and it just went,
Yeah.
Yeah. But
cause there was a guy on a
It's a
tractor that
UTV
put it
and-
out, yeah.
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 tall grass, whatever, but yeah. Back when that fire happened, and I've heard this multiple times, like, is there some type of a sprinkler system that can be put in some of the major roads that go through to stop that? I don't know if we want to mow and make a nice big green strip and keep that mowed and take care of it. But I don't know if there's been some suggestions like that, could be along 900 or even up in the Cove or somewhere in that area where those major roads that there's some sprinkler system that runs, that's fire prevention. I've never heard of that, but that's just an idea that's come up.
Yeah, there's a couple issues with that. One, the money to put the infrastructure in, with it being in well, if it's an HOA, it's a little easier, but if it's just a subdivision, that's really hard. Two, people, in California, they had issues with people turning on the sprinkling systems and then it was drying up,
Yeah.
pulling enough water that when we hooked to a fire hydrant, there was not enough
Enough
pressure.
pressure.
So there's that. If there was a way that we could make a reserve or a separate system, yeah, we could definitely look at that. But the other thing is like, on a normal calm day, it might be okay and the sprinkling system might work, but we might not even need it. And then when it's windy and we do need it, yeah, it could be overrun by the fire, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. No, I just, anything out of the box to help to prevent it, and maybe it's better in our development plans and things like that, that we're really focused on fire prevention, everything above the canal, especially that we're focused on that, so.
May I have one more, just 30-second question?
I do too, when he's done.
Oh, go ahead. I mean, I've already had my turn.
I think Sarah's next.
Yeah.
So when you say that you want the cities to partner in with that, are you going to give us a list of directives and initiatives and things that we know what that looks like?
I see it more as like an opportunity to work together with staff
Mhm.
and that have, like, if we have a chipper available, to partner with city staff, let's all go out and build relationships between ourselves and with the citizens and kind of work side by side is kind of how I envision it, but there may be projects that, you know, maybe you guys could help. Maybe it's some of the stuff that your city workers are out already doing and we're just not documenting it very well. Things like that, so.
So maybe just my thought of, you know, so there's an organization part of this. Is that something that you work with the city staff, say, at the beginning of each year? Hey, this is what we're looking at, you know, some of the projects, then we could partner on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, so just our community and I know North Ogden community is both laying fiber. I'm just wondering, between fiber and AI, is there some way that we can like mitigate fires that way using technology where you can see if a fire happens before it's really a huge problem?
Yeah, there's a couple places that are already using that. The one closest to us is probably Morgan County. They have some, well, that new development, I think it's Wasatch Peaks, it's called. That they're basically like a private ski resort and they're third and fourth houses for people that have a lot of money. That they paid for a system like that. I haven't really dug in and found the cost for that, but basically, they have the technology to zoom across their whole valley where their camera is. And they can pick up
Like
a
hot
campfire,
spots?
like
Yeah,
even like embers in a fire, and they
Mhm.
can determine if it's, you know, being attended to, or if it's in a dangerous area, or if it's growing super quick, so.
yeah,
It's definitely
that's,
something that we. can
yeah,
look
cool.
into.
That's something that we couldn't have looked at in the past, but I think in the near future that could be. So if you'll keep that on your radar, that'd be awesome.
If we had a Santa Ana wind event like California,
Mhm.
would we see the destruction? I mean, in worst case scenario, if that would have blown back down, or is this California fires that just went through neighborhoods? I mean, is that a realistic threat that could happen here, or the house is far enough apart, or?
It could absolutely happen here.
Okay.
It's happened we had not long ago in Reno, Nevada, which is pretty similar to our foothills. They lost, I think, 7 to 9 houses on just a smaller grass fire than we had this last week. So it can definitely happen, and that's why the defensible space is so important. Is if we can create enough space to get in there and be safe about it, make a stand, that's what's gonna stop that jumping from house to house. But there's a lot of the houses actually burned down from embers into the attic through the gable vents than through actual direct flame impingement. It's a lot of the embers going further down, getting sucked in to those gable vents or in window wells or in leaves below decks, all of that. And
Yeah.
so it doesn't happen necessarily all at once, but it does happen. And we've lost neighborhoods, even the Forsyth fire in central Utah that we've had, they've lost neighborhoods. So.
All right.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve this community wildlife preparedness plan as presented by Mr. Jones.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Gibson, second by Arrington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries, all voting aye. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You guys have a good night.
Thanks very much.
You're more than welcome to stay for the. Oh. All right, item 4 is public hearing, water conservation plan, discussion and possible action to consider adopting the water conservation plan which establishes conservation planning efforts, identifying water supply inventory and implementing procedures. Resolution 2025-M.
Mayor, I'll make
Entertain a motion.
a motion, we go into public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Arrington, second by Yuri. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're in public hearing. Tyson. Present away.
This is your ongoing water conservation plan. It goes through a lot of data. It's your connection. It's part of how, or one of the many plans for the culinary water system to help ensure that we have water to supply the needs and support fire in those situations and meet growth. I'm just gonna shoot to some
Can
main
I ask a
items.
Question first, just institutional 24 connections. or-
Which page?
Page number one.
Well, yeah, that's why I was trying to figure out what 24
At the very
institutions were.
Yeah, so institutional is our facilities, the schools, and churches.
Oh, okay.
And then commercial obviously is a lot of
Yeah, I was
what's
just
been
surprised
coming
that
in
they
and
were institutional than
Commercial's pretty
commercial.
low to me too. Is that like 17 or something like that?
so you have master meters. That's where
Okay.
some of that
Oh.
is. So you have, 3 units, but they're running through 1 meter.
Okay.
Okay,
So
all
that's
right,
where that number would be a little lower.
all right. Lead us through.
So if we turn to, and we can jump back, like I said, there's a lot of tables, and if you're interested, more detail, we can certainly go through it. Page 8 just shows that gallons per capita, that's the longer trend. Just showing that, it's out there and people are doing their part, and hopefully the meters that we talked about, that's been part of the conservation plan, and
What's the
and
difference?
this was the first year feeling like we could move that forward to get the rest of the system in, and then you'll see in our goals, pushing out the auto read sign up and getting residents more involved where they have the leak alerts that right now, historically, we haven't pushed the on water where they have access to their account directly with all that same data. There's a few signups and being able to catch this and having the high usage notice. Debbie's part of that, the utilities group. They get those and they can reach out faster than, in the past, if you had them manual read. Winter, the snow covers them and you don't find the leak until January, February, depending on snow year. And so that's been a big part of that, I guess, conservation plan historically. So that's one of our continued goals, and that'll help reduce your gallons per capita. is
Mayor, can I
Getting
ask a
people
question?
involved.
Sure.
And I know that you guys did a fantastic job at identifying major leaks back during our moratorium. But is that reflective in this? I mean, where did that start? I mean, you got 141 versus 57.
So-
I mean, that's a dramatic change, but is that because of your public works?
So some of
fix,
that,
Some of that, those big major leaks you had?
some of that's reporting. They were reporting it in that era.
So is that not
Or accurate
realistic then?
reporting.
No, if you're back in the 05, that section,
Yeah.
some of that would be skewed just because of how the data was reported back then.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. I just can't believe that we're doing that much better usage.
No, and Pleasant View, and it's talked about in here, I'll have to find the section, but it's referenced like Pleasant View does extremely well. Like, we're in that lower percentage, and just keeping it down and continuing that effort is
Well, I know a lot of that is, give yourself credit because that you guys really did, back in those moratorium days, really did identify a lot of those leaks and fixed a lot of wasted water, and I definitely want to thank you for that.
Yeah, and those are some of those, like, we've always told people with, leaks, like the city doesn't want you to have one either, even if you're billing for it and the city's gonna get compensated, like, we don't want them to have wasted water.
Right.
Regardless of what it's for, so the faster the city can stop it and the better, and this isn't part of the packet, but just from our previous conversation with Auto Read,
When did we start the auto read system? Was that in 17, 18?
yeah, back in the 17 or so, it was part of that era's conservation plan as well.
There's only about half the cities on it right now, or is it more than that?
Yeah, you're right around half now. So that was the purchase we made at the previous council, was to hurry and try to get the rest of the city wrapped up. And so what we did originally, part of that conservation effort and plan was getting rid of the 30 and 40-year-old meters that the city still had in, throughout the system. So you were only registering water flows in the high end of their usage. So, you know, the peak in the morning, the peak in the evening, when you get back from work, and getting all of those out of the system was the priority at that initial stage.
So Tyson, on page 10, it says that 1,500 meters or 60% of all the meters have been updated. And so is that what you're speaking to right there? Is that now we
Yes.
have them all purchased, just need to be installed?
Yeah, so that was the order we
Okay.
approved, or you approved last city council, is to finish out the rest of the system with auto reads.
Last time. It seems like.
Yes,
So
right around there.
to your best guesstimate, how long do you think it'll take to have those installed? Is that gonna take us another year? Is that gonna take us 3 years?
4 years.
you think?
Yeah, and then, the goal is if they have extra time, now you'll have the means to go
Do
and
that.
try to speed that up.
And with those meters, are we decreasing manpower hours? Like, are we working smarter, not?
More, reallocated, so not, yeah, decreasing in this item, but just allocating it in the other items that we're behind on.
Which is good, because that keeps you from having to hire
Meter, yeah.
every time you can do
Yeah,
that.
it's reducing.
That's what technology is all about, is working smarter, so you don't have continuing to add bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah, so as you're removing the time and collecting and the manually entering, writing it down, turning it into Debbie, her then entering it,
Mhm.
you're taking that element out. So if they get the manual books done sooner, even auto read, you still have the high usage alerts. Sometimes you have to wake the systems back up. I mean, it's not a perfect system, but it's less time spent just collecting the data.
yeah.
So his time as they start to have extra time, what he would have been doing with books, he either is helping cover those items and making sure the meters are working, or putting in the new meters as part of the change out. In 3 years, if they get that done, whatever time isn't spent there, then we'll allocate into notes and services, and it's just freeing us up to go and focus our efforts in another area that we're behind on.
Okay.
So yes, and then back to the usage, sorry, because this is a separate paper, but this is connected to your conservation plan, and then what you guys were discussing, that little Mike was throwing together, give you an example of those auto read system. So this is notice of the high leak alert. You can see their usage. I know this is hard.
Page is that?
This is just the side one that little Mike
It's not
put
in
together. It's
Oh,
not part of the packet, so you'll have to bear with me, and I'll turn it in at the end. We just didn't have time to get it in with this. But you can see there's the here's where the leak was observed with, they would have got the leak notification. You only had the roughly 7 days and then they had the leak fixed, where in the past, if that leak had, come up right immediately following a meter reading, then.
Within a month.
Yeah.
At
before
least a
the-
month.
Yeah.
And a lot of those leaks, they don't surface, they go down your toilet, they go in the ground and they don't surface on the mountain. And some of those, a lot of that process is working through convincing people they really do have a leak. And these help give you the tool that instead of showing up with, numbers and old bills that people sometimes don't understand, it gives a good visual for them to see what you're referencing, so.
Thanks.
So is the ion system that would detect the leaks, or what's the, because we have the app, right? That's,
Yeah, so it's an app.
yeah, I need to sign up for it. I haven't got my bill yet, but Debbie hasn't. But I need a new water trough like Stetson, the automatic, instead of leaving the hose on for 4 hours.
Yeah,
You know?
you can set usage, so like,
I just did it on public record,
Like,
but, you know. It's not the first or the last either, I'm pretty sure of it.
That's part of the problem.
It
I
is,
still
it
don't
is.
understand.
Well, that's why I'm
It's
wondering.
coming. It's coming.
yes, and that's, if you, on your water meter,
Yeah,
you
I
have a
thought for quite a
little
while.
plastic button. If you have that, then you could sign up. Because our fear originally, as we were initially after those aged meter infrastructure, was if we started pushing it out and then people are asking, why can't I sign up? And you're not set to give all. We just didn't want that to be the confusion, and it wasn't part of that main goal, so. Now we'll be able to start, making posts in the newsletter and doing a conscious effort to get people to sign up and push your conservation information to help set those goals or meet them.
Yeah, and what the thresholds are, right? Because what do if you're looking at every home to look at it, the meter goes to zero at some point in 24 hours or something like that? Or something close?
Yeah, that's what this is showing, so it should go to zero, like sometimes you'll have some carryover, but you can see there's no flow, so what it does is it detects a constant that never, it always hits a
stays
minimum
there.
constant, and it'll give you sort of a range of what it's at. If it's a big
Is that
leak.
one home? Is that one meter or is that multiple meters?
No, this is one home, so each of those bars is a different day, so that's where you can see
Oh.
the jump. Where
That's
their
when I was
normal
taking a
usage-
long shower.
Yeah.
After mowing the lawn on a hot day.
Yeah.
An all day long shower?
Hey Tyson, can you, push out some public notification on water parks? I get that question so much, like why is the city watering their parks in the middle of the day? Is that something we could push out like in a public newsletter or something, like our city newsletter?
Yeah, we could put that info out.
Okay.
Where they've asked us to do that.
Yeah, they just,
Down,
yeah,
or, but we'll push it out again.
okay.
No, I think that's every year.
Spring. Now that our water's on, please note.
Yeah, partially,
I would-
the request from their system for their system needs and part our systems are so big that,
Yeah.
water's out through the day too, so, but
Yeah.
we certainly could.
Cool.
I would encourage everybody to take this and read a lot of interesting information.
That's great.
Take it home and read it and.
I'm looking on page 2. And, our water supply by 2060, I'll be dead and I'll be done in our new cemetery. But what's that based off of? Is that off of just kind of our supply in the wells plus our new reservoir, or what do you, is that, am I reading that correctly? I mean, kind of because that's one thing I worry about. I mean, we're not in a big puddle up in our wells. We're sucking water out of the ground, out of the gravel that's down there. What's this graph 1.1 based on?
So what it's referencing, and it kind of gets into the conversation with the booster station is, your source can keep up with, this many connections.
Is that taking into consideration a build out? Because we are,
Yes.
if interest rates go, by 2060, we might be built out. I don't know. But
Well, so
Well,
that's what the.
So that's the
graph line is.
projected.
yeah,
That
so,
line.
so that, we are with our new reservoir, Buena Vista Water, Weaver Basin Water, whatever it is. We are in decent shape. I know we have more, what do we have, 1,400 or?
Yeah,
that
so that's when
1400? We'll be maxed out in 2060 at 10. Or what is that, 1,000
that's the acre feet.
acre feet? So so you're saying that we're in good shape for water?
Yeah, so when the source capacity,
No, there's just nobody here.
when that changed, it pushed that timeline out. So you have the what our source can handle, what we're producing, and then you have what the demand on your system requires. And so that there, at some point, it's gonna come together and we'll start buying into Weaver Basin water at a,
Higher tier.
yes, but on a as kind of basis. So you'll buy their water. So we're not projecting to punch additional wells. Our capital facilities plans aren't set up. We're built to just continue to purchase as soon as you run out of the source we currently own.
In the meantime, somehow get infrastructure to, provide it, right?
No, so you're allotted this many acre feet and the residents are using this much and then you
Right.
have your loss and all of that. But by build out, you'll have to secure more water.
Right.
So the current source will run out in the future, but it's about 1,000 connections from that with the new source requirements.
Hmm.
So when that 1,000 BRUs runs out, depending on growth and build, they will start to just purchase that Weaver Basin water on demand. So as a permit comes in and we've run out of what we're allotted in that acre feet, we'll just automatically buy additional water from Weaver Basin. And then it'll run through the
Right.
booster station into the system.
So,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
hang on.
Yeah, my question, was the loss, will the loss, cause we have like 30% of loss. Will that go away completely with the meters? Or what? I can't
No,
remember.
no, your loss rate won't go away. So we have a significantly low loss rate. There are years that it will show high, but those are your good water years. So
Oh, so we're
the big jump.
losing inflow at that point?
So the way I always ask people to look at it is you look at the drought year because that's when your spring source doesn't skew that loss. So if you have a really good water year, those are the years we hit 30% loss rates.
And that's just water going over the.
Yeah, then there's nothing the city can do. So we tried, that's where the not pumping at the booster station kind of comes into play. You're trying to use that water because it shows up on loss for whatever we're not sending out through meters.
So a couple of years ago, we didn't even turn the pumps on for the wells. We just relied
Yeah.
solely on the spring.
Yeah.
No, not solely, but the
So,
spring, the
yes.
spring took us into July or something, didn't it? Or?
Yes, there's
Well,
those.
This is a pretty good example year, right? This is a good example year. It's been very dry all summer and we didn't have the greatest winter. We had
No.
decent, but it wasn't.
Yeah, so your
So-
your
so-
spillover in the spring
Was a
is
lot less.
reduced, but yeah, you jump into the years before and yeah, you'll see those, so the 30s and when your winter tapered into spring longer than anybody really wanted. That's when that loss rate it'll show very
I'm
high.
surprised that we lose that much water If those tanks are that big that we lose, we can't.
But that's where some of this, it's sort of, some of these fight against each other because you're trying to reduce, but in those moments where we run and you try to run hydrants, and that's when we do things that you wouldn't do in a drought year. Cause you're trying to make it useful, so it's not just pouring out the overflow and running down a ravine, so
Yeah,
They-
cool.
they try to time it where you won't cause potential additional flooding, but while the culinary production is so high that it's just going down the ravine anyway. So that when they stormwater and utilities work together with where they're gonna cause each other problems or not, where they facilitate that.
Well, it does seem that we're in a good situation with water, and I think that's a credit to them and their team. Been good.
No, and Mike Littlefield, he did amazing work, and this is the least I've been part of this, and it's been putting this together specifically, and it's nice to see that he's taken that up and worked through it and continue to push our conservation plan and take it to the next levels, so.
Mayor, I'll
Okay.
make a motion to go to.
Well, let me ask if there's anybody in the public that wishes to address us. Okay, I'll entertain.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to go to the public.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion by Gibson, second by Marriott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're out of the public hearing, back to our regular meeting. Any other?
Mayor, Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve this water conservation plan as presented under resolution 2025-M.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Gibson, second by Yuri. All right, this will be a roll call vote. Arrington,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Yes.
Nelson's excused, Yuri. Motion carries 4 yeses and 1 absent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5 is the Weber County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. Discussion and possible action to adopt the Weber County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan 2024, Resolution 2025 Andrea.
Okay, so I was contacted by Weber County shortly after I started here. The survey that was included in your packet was something that was filled out by Ms. Maybe before I started. There was a couple questions on there that the state needed a little bit more detail on, so I worked with Weber County and with their consultant to give a little bit more detail on those items. It's a plan about our mitigation strategies for disasters. By adopting this and the county whole, then we're eligible for FEMA, using FEMA resources if and when we have a major disaster. On the section where it shows our strategies, we have 26 different strategies that range anywhere from public outreach to improving or expanding our facilities, conducting different studies, increasing security on our water facilities, and training for staff and also for citizens. So I would recommend that this be adopted so that we are subject to those FEMA resources if or when we need them.
Yeah, hopefully we never will, but if we do, we'll go through the things beforehand so we qualify. So appreciate your work on this. Any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 2025-N, the Weber County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan.
I'll second the motion. I do have some questions though.
Yeah. Right.
So do we have to do anything specific with this? Should we be doing something as a council to review our risk and if we're prepared? I mean, this is the plan, but we don't really, and I think our risks are pretty high in a couple areas, but not others. I mean, it shows that in the plan, right? Earthquakes and fires probably are 2 biggest concerns, maybe flooding, but I don't know. I don't know that we should be meeting and discussing it more often as emergency plans. What if something does happen, how do we handle it?
And there are things that are currently worked on. One of our mitigation strategies is building out Skyline, constructing the decamp facility, the Zone 1 water tank.
Yeah, those are the actions that came from this, right? That's what,
Yeah.
it's a,
I did meet with Cindy just within the last week, talk about our emergency operation plan. I was unsure if that had been adopted since the last time that it was updated that I'm showing in my files. So we're gonna look at making sure that that's up to date and getting it adopted by the city council. But there are a lot of things on here that are gonna take some time and quite frankly, a lot of funding to accomplish. But having those on the radar is a good thing, and just checking back on those and making sure that we are making progress on all of them is something that I would suggest, yes.
Further? This will be a roll call vote. Arrington,
Yes.
Gibson. Yes. Marriott,
yes.
Nelson's excused, and Yuri.
Yes.
Motion carries, 4 yeses, 1 excused. Thank you. Item 6 is road contribution discussion and possible consideration to contribute funding for road improvements on Hillsborough Drive between 2700 North and 2550 North. Andrea.
I did not intend on presenting this alone. Mr. Laloli said that he would be in attendance tonight, so.
Price is not here.
Yeah, sometime back I came to the council to ask if, you would be, if you would consider a contribution to the improvements to Hillsborough Drive. You indicated that you would be open to considering, a contribution. He is back with the engineer's estimate that was included in your packet for the improvements on that road. So at this time, he's asking for a commitment to contribute to that number right there. And then we would probably need to include it into a development agreement when he and Mr. Myers develop that property that includes Hillsborough Drive.
Just a reminder and for anybody watching what this is. Here, this is the road that's kind of an S-shaped road, or for lack of a better, that runs between 2550 and 2700. It used to be a private, well, it still is a private road. Still a private road, but we have been treating it as basically a public road for, well, since 2700 was put in, so that's not quite 20 years.
What do you mean, by that, Mayor? We haven't been taking care of it.
Well, it's been,
We plow it.
we've been plowing it, our residents have been using it, it's not been,
Who owns the road?
and quite frankly, this should have been taken care of when UDOT
Oh.
could come through, okay, but
Sorry.
it wasn't.
No, it's
No.
attached to the Myers property.
It's basically owned by Sean Myers, but,
Gotcha.
they're subdividing and doing a thing, and so, you know, I believe we have, maybe some sort of, responsibility, because we've enjoyed the use of it. And kind of like, you know, kind of wear it out. Now it's gotta be kind of redone. Now, what that cost is, I don't know. His original ask to us was half, and I said I would not support half. I said, at the very most, we should only do a third if you divided it between Dave, Sean, and the city. That's the very most. I'm not sure.
Is this a third or is this half or is this?
That's the
total?
whole total.
This
So
is total, so a third.
I
would
said,
be
even
approximately
that seems a
8,000.
little bit, much to me, but, you know, I don't know how you put a value on what we've been using it for.
Is this
I
just one estimate from his engineer? Have we had another?
Yeah, this is the preliminary engineer's cost.
That's
Yeah.
to get a comparable.
Well, and that will come when they actually, if they actually do. You know, not so, but again, we brought this up in
DRC.
Monday, in DRC, and I think it would be appropriate for the staff to have a little bit more time to kind of digest this information. We got this on Monday, right?
We had the engineer's estimate for a little bit, but
Yeah.
our engineer just
We
looked
didn't
at it
have
on
an
Monday.
ask until
Yes, we didn't have the ask until last
his
Thursday
engineer-
afternoon.
Thursday.
But the first that our staff saw it was Monday of this estimate.
No,
No,
Oh,
we got this on 8/6, it looks like, and then we met with Dave Thursday to say, okay, this is great. What is your ask? What are you asking for? And that's when he said half. It's like, well, okay, I mean, you're free to ask for whatever you want, but I'm gonna tell you, and I told him, I would not support half. So,
And I agree with you. I personally don't want to even make a decision on this until we find out really
yeah,
what's going on. I mean, I don't want to commit to a third
no,
at all at this point. So I don't know if we table this or put this back because I think that we definitely want something in that development to, to help, but I just.
yeah, I'd like to bring it
Where-
back
where's
to
the private road? I
DRC
just don't think.
and
this-
let Tyson and Dana and
I'm not
Tammy
prepared
and-
at this point to act on this
Yeah.
at all, I don't think.
to,
Yeah.
right. Well, he was supposed to be here to talk to it and
It's only a
So-
discussion and possible, action, so no action needs to be
I
taken.
think, at least from my standpoint, we want to see that be something better than it is,
Yeah.
for sure. But, yeah, I'm not,
No,
I would vote no or something at this point, because I just don't think we have enough. Just to throw some money out of some, an estimate out there, I just don't think that's fair.
well, and we talked months ago, Tyson, and then we talked about some improvements we could help with. I just think, but he wanted us to bring it, so it's like, okay, I think when we talk in DRC Monday, it's like, we need to go through this.
Is
And
this gonna
say,
be,
this is what we think the
is
city.
he developed on both sides of the road, or is it the west side?
No, he's just gonna be on the west side. In next to Sunsun.
And does the east go right up to the cove?
Yes, yeah, and that's owned by Sean Myers.
Yeah.
He originally was going to put a, Sean?
No, David.
Dave, yeah, he's still talking to some sort of hotel or, yeah.
Mayor, a couple things for DRC and to look at coming down. I can't tell how big this road is. I don't know if that's
It's a
60,
60 foot.
66. I hate to bring it up.
59 feet.
Do you know how big?
I bet it's not even that road, but
But that's something we need to know.
It's a rural road.
And too soon,
And
yes,
how
too soon.
dare you bring that up?
Too soon. And the other thing is, I'm just seeing that they've got a 4-foot sidewalk. Don't we want a 5-foot? Isn't that our city code?
Our city standard is fine.
Yeah, so I just see a 4-foot one, so that's something that we need to discuss as well.
Yeah, and that's some of it, what would need to be reviewed with how they set this up and have the detail that.
So, but it's nice to see what
Necessary.
what the estimate's coming in at, so we kind of have a clue on, but
But I do think
those are the
that
things I'm gonna
with that
discuss.
Yeah, it's
Our
on the
engineers
master
do their
road.
Estimations as well, and
And
so that
also-
we have something to compare.
If it shows on the master road plan, what's on the, for width.
So then maybe table it. Should we table it?
Yeah, well, that would be my recommendation. I don't think we're ready to,
Well,
commit
we would make
anything,
a
so.
decision regardless, but just so that to like maybe keep it active and not delay the process so we can make a consideration to table it rather than just reject it.
Yeah.
Right.
Need timing on it, they don't really know what to be moving forward. If we table it until then, right?
well, until we got more information to bring back to you. Then we can either vote then or table it again.
We don't have to actually
Yeah.
give it.
No,
That's what I. yeah.
when the staff is prepared to come back with a recommendation, how about that?
You want me to make that motion or do you want me to wait for Steve to come back?
Will you include those couple things in there too?
Yeah, we'll have our engineer go through this and
Do you want to second it?
did you happen to,
On the master road plan, it currently just shows as a private road.
Oh, private road on the master plan?
Mhm.
It's what?
It shows as a private road.
okay, well, let's bring that up in DRC.
Okay.
because That's interesting.
Had that.
So
Well-
road width in the city standards. You want that, the road width in the city standards?
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to table item 6, considering the road contribution for road improvements on Hillsborough Drive between 2700 North and 2550. For an undetermined to bring back as staff considers information and, reviews appraisal,
Cost estimate.
pardon?
A cost estimate.
Cost estimate, thank you, and also the considerations that Councilmember Arrington mentioned.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Yuri, second by Arrington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, item 7, canvass the 2025 primary municipal election.
That's why you.
Debbie.
Okay, so what we need to do is declare nominated the 4 candidates that had the highest number of votes for the city council and certified vote totals for each of those people. So the packet that I gave you, the first page is the canvas report. It basically tells us about the number of ballots counted and what happened with all those ballots. Then the next page is the summary, which shows you just the total number of votes. Then all the other pages are for all of the individual districts. So there are 12 districts.
Could-
Okay.
Could you tell us about PV4 suppressed?
That
PV4
PV4
suppressed,
districts.
page 4.
Why don't they have a count?
We've got 9 votes cast, it shows nothing. It just says PV4
I
suppressed.
did notice that. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
But this is just this is all data that was given to us by Weber County.
We'll have to find
So-
out from.
Is there, if there's a minimum number, they may not want to show that? I don't know if that's a public thing or. I'm not.
No. Or it could be they were votes for not, I mean, because it,
The candidates
yeah,
there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
they're all
we
write-ins.
Received this information this morning. So
Where's
there's-
PV4?
Page 4.
No, on the
Oh,
map,
on
the
the map.
precinct map. I'm just curious.
So I wonder if they're just trying to. It's too small, you can't make them anonymous, I guess.
Maybe, yeah,
9 votes cast, yeah, that's not very big.
yeah.
That could be just because it would unfairly identify who.
Yeah,
That makes
that's
sense.
my thought, but I don't know what that means.
So 23% voter turnout.
Yeah, that's pretty low. I think we're the 3rd from the bottom, if I remember right, so. Yeah, I hope people get out and vote. That's kind of depressing. 23% with mail-in ballots, that's an amount we used to get with vote in person. We've had up to like 60%, 50s.
For
50s.
primaries?
No,
Just general.
I'm, just-
Primaries are usually lower.
yeah, they are. I don't know why, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see more participation. All right.
Yes.
Anyway, and then I believe we all have to sign it, don't we?
Yes, we do have a
We
paper
have-
that everyone needs to sign.
Do you
They can
have
just
that?
pass it up to you if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
All
we
right.
have to verbally recognize the top 4 or that's just?
Yeah, I think we
recognized?
need to state them.
Okay, so do you want me to do that? or
Yes,
just-
please.
Okay, so our top vote taker was Sean Wilkinson with 913 votes. That's 35.22%. Second place, Johnny Ferry with 833 votes,
Congratulations.
32.14%. Third was Brian Gray with 411 votes, 15.86%. And then fourth, Derek Draper with 171 votes, 10.46%. Then in fifth place was Todd Hardman, 164 votes, 6.33%. So he is eliminated and the top 4 vote takers move on to the general election.
Okay, at this point, I'd entertain a motion to approve the canvassing of the election as presented by our deputy recorder.
I'll make a motion that we approve the canvas report as reported by our recorder.
I'll second that motion.
And does this require any kind of roll call vote or do we know? I'll tell you what, I'm gonna call it as a roll call vote. That way we've covered ourselves, okay? All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the canvas. Arrington,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Gibson?
Yes.
Okay, and Nelson's excused. Great, congratulations on being one of the top 2 vote getters,
Go Johnny?
surviving the primary. Now the fun begins.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Item 8. Department update, police department update. Stetson.
All right, I'm gonna kind of breeze through this because we have some other things that I want to talk about, but, so the department update, Debbie, do you have the thing? Go back to slide 1. All right, So lately, so I'm just gonna provide a department update for, what we've been training on and working with Councilmember Mary on. We've been calling it high performing cities. I don't know if that's official, it's official thing, but that's what we've been calling it. I put in here, go to the next slide. It says, what is high performing cities? Councilmember Mary, he brought this program to us about a year and a half ago. He brought it to us with the intent to help us, try and implement some processes that will help us, perform more efficiently and effective while reducing cost to the city. It's been a good thing. We've looked at it. We've been training, about an hour every other week. And we've kind of taken some things that he's, I think you use at your job in, production and been able to, apply them here. Some of it has been very easy and good to throw in and apply. Some of it hasn't really applied, but we're still working and learning on it. Go to the next slide. The next thing is, the two main areas that we've been able to apply and focus on in the police department has been the 5S and the 7 types of waste. He's brought to us, and I'll talk about those. You can go to the next slide. 5S is just 5 S's. It's, sift and clear out, standardization, simplify and put it in order, self-discipline, and sweep, clean, and check. Go to the next slide. The ways that we've implemented 5S so far is, we've been able to clean out old equipment and junk around the office. We had a lot of it. I think, things just like when we get new vehicles and new equipment, we just take the old stuff and stack it up somewhere. And before you know it, you just have lots and lots of old equipment and stuff, and just takes up space. So that's kind of been a process, because obviously getting rid of it, it's not easy to just go take radios and guns and all that kind of stuff and just go throw it in the garbage. So we've had to kind of go through a process to do that, but that's been really good for us. It's freed up some storage
do you
space
do
and
with-
stuff like that.
Old radios and guns, just curious.
What do we do with
I
them?
mean, you just mentioned you can't put them in the garbage, but
Yeah, you don't just go, basically they have to be worth.
obviously you can't put them in the garbage.
Yeah, sometimes you can sell them to other departments. You can try and, auction them off, or there's a lot of things you can do
Just curious.
to get rid of them. The other thing is, we went through our vehicles, and we've, clean out and standardize where the equipment's located inside. So that there's some uniformity in all of our vehicles. This helps when officers retrieve stuff from other vehicles. This is really good. Like, for an example, all the officers have a first aid kit, and kind of as we went through this process, I went and talked to them. Everybody had it in a different spot in their vehicle. And, I thought, we need to make sure that if I'm on a call and I need a first aid kit, but the officer down or something like that, I want any officer to go to my vehicle and know right where it's gonna be, and it'll be the same in all of our vehicles. So that's been good. We've been really trying to work on standardizing the setup. We've ordered all new rifle racks, cages, and stuff like that. So our vehicles are equipped and outfitted the same, so that, if somebody gets a new truck or has to swap trucks or that, they're still able to perform and be able to have that vehicle.
I think that's really important, both those, because it's so easy, because something new comes out, so you buy that for this new truck or this officer, and then, and it just, after 5, 6, 7 years, everything's completely different. Nobody has any standardization on, especially the location is, yeah, if you need a first aid kit, it's not like go look for a first aid kit. You need a first aid kit. So yeah, I think those are very important things. So that's great.
Yeah, and another example of how that's helped is like if you're on a call and let's say I send Tyson out, hey, go grab me some forms to have people do statements, or go grab me some, my fire extinguisher or whatever. We're trying to set it up so that they're all in the same spot, so that we can be more efficient on calls.
in that way. For the clean and check, I've tasked agents with routine vehicle checks. Checking for cleanliness, servicing tires, all equipment, everything's functioning. Cops are famous for, it's like, hey, how come you haven't written any tickets or anything? Well, my radar's been broke for 9 months. So we're trying to make sure that we're on top of equipment, doing a inventory of equipment in the vehicles and that includes making sure that it's all functioning and operating.
Not our agency, but we want to make sure we pick bad habits from
Yeah.
other agencies. Yeah.
We have, Point S down here does our oil changes. They put a sticker in there and we constantly, I tell the sergeants, go look in there and just see what that sticker says, make sure it's not doing.
How do you determine that? Just curious, do you just kind of choose a local business or does the state, or is there a process that you have to choose for servicing, or you just choose?
We've just always had them.
Okay.
since
I was
started
just curious
there,
how
so.
that works.
I like to keep the business in the city. if
Right.
we can, For sure. And so,
I was just
and
curious.
I keep an eye on their prices and they've actually been really decent on their prices, cheaper than probably where we could get it done somewhere else. And it saves us a lot of time because we can just run to
It's
the end
just
of
right
Pleasant
there.
View Drive instead
That's
of
good.
driving down. So that's the 5S. Obviously I'm sure there's more to that. There's more ways that we'll implement, more things we'll use from that, but that's kind of some of the highlights of what we've implemented from the 5S portion of this high performing cities. The next one is the 7 types of waste. I put the garbage can there to give Tyson some PTSD. We all deal with it. So, 7 types of waste is, what we're being taught is waiting, overproduction, rework, unnecessary motion, over processing, inventory, and conveyance. Go down to the next one. The waste reduction that we've implemented so far, and again, there's more to all of this. I'm just doing some highlights of what we've been able to apply so far. And again, that it kind of this high performing city is kind of what I've been told comes from a production. Lean manufacturing stuff. So, there are parts of it that's really been hard to apply to the police department. But these are just some of the things that we've applied so far. The prisoner transport, I'll just give you an example. We go handle a call. Somebody, we determine there's probable cause to make an arrest. In the past, the handling officer would take the individual into custody, put them in their car, drive to the jail. Once they're at the jail, take them in, process them, and then they would go out and sit at the jail in their truck. You can't leave the jail until your probable cause statement's submitted, your booking sheets are all done, and that's all online now. So we've kind of, we have implemented a new process, and this is part of getting cages in all of the vehicles to where the handling officer actually takes the person into custody, puts them in the backup officer's vehicle, and that officer simply just drives them to the jail, drops them off. By the time they get to the jail, the handling officer is at their car and already has the probable cause done because it's all online now, has the probable cause statement done, has them booked, has them, all that. So basically you're getting 2 things done at the same time. There was a lot of wasted time if somebody had to go to jail. Because sometimes you can be at the mercy of booking. You can be in line with 20 people in front, getting booked into jail. But if you tell them, hey, this person's already booked, I just need to drop them off, you usually go right with them and are able to do that. So they're out of the city for hours, right? Yeah, they would be out of the city for, up to 3 hours at a time. But now it's just they can get to the jail and drive back. So, because they can go really fast if they want, but. All right, the other couple examples real quick here on waste reduction. One of the big ones that really helped us a lot is, this has helped us in many ways, as it's DCFS mandatory reporting cases. So if DCFS gets a report of child neglect or abuse, it's mandatory that they report it to us, and then kind of works back and forth between the police department and DCFS. They have to send us a report of what they got. We send a report with them. Then the detectives get with the CPS worker, and they usually work the case side by side together.
what we've done is we've implemented where patrol actually gets the mandatory reports from DCFS and they go and they make contact that day right then. They treat it as a priority one call. They go make contact with the family right then. And what that does is a couple things. They're able to confirm all the information in there. We over the years have got several Pleasant Grove DCFS CANRs, and that CANR would just sit forever. And then finally 6 months later, however months later, the detective would get it and be like, oh, this needs to go to them. And then it goes to them. But they patrol gets it, treat it as a priority one call. They go down, they make contact, they do what we call welfare on the kids. And just tell them that, hey, we have this report, we're involved. Usually DCFS is aware that we're going to do that. And they can confirm the address, the age of the kids, the phone numbers, the parents' names, make sure. A lot of times that information, it's a house that the family lived at 9 months ago, and they told a social worker, and that was the number DCFS had for them. So that's saving us a lot of time, and that case out in West Haven has also got a lot of this implemented where we get eyes on the kid the first day. And then we can have body camera of the kids and that they're safe and healthy or not. And then we can take appropriate action. So then by the time the detectives go back a week or so later, they can see, hey, is the kid losing weight? Is the kid still healthy? Are they doing good? And so kind of helps us with that. But what it's done as far as the waste side of it is it's helped us so that the detectives aren't running around trying to figure out who the parents are, what's the relationship, does the kid really live here at this house, and stuff like that. The other one that we've done is we've
Your backlog gone down on that.
yeah, so and I was gonna get to that in
Okay, oh, sorry.
here in
I'll be
just,
quiet.
just a little bit, but that DCFS thing has really helped. And a lot of this has helped, but the DCFS thing has probably done more than anything for our detective backlog on cases. We've implemented a lot of other things as well. But that's been a big thing that's helped. I think we went from, at one point, we had like 130 to 150 open cases. Checked the other day. We've rearranged some of the assignments within the department. I've took on some things as the chief that I was doing as a lieutenant. We did the admin sergeant role where he's handling cases as well. So the other day I checked and I think there's like 20 open cases. So we've been able to, between doing this, between rearranging some of the way and identifying the ways that we were wasting time and
That's
effort,
huge.
we've been able to get that detective back with the caseload down to about 20 cases, which has been huge. I mean, that's a really, really good thing. And we're still arresting people and closing cases and charging people as well. So it's not like we just went through and closed a whole bunch of cases and now we have 20. So the other thing real quick that we did is, when it comes to reports, I've sat down with our sergeants and all of our department. We've had some clarity in the standards and timeliness on our reports. Sergeants meet with their officers at the end of their shift. They go through their day. They check on them. They make sure that they've, what calls will be handled. Is that report in? If the report's not in, now they have to have permission from their sergeant to leave a case without doing their report before the end of their shift. Making sure that body camera gets downloaded that night, that day, so that the detectives can get right on it the next day, have access to all that. Just cleaning up some of those things has really helped us perform at a higher level. That's kind of the high performing stuff. Just another quick area of focus that we've had here lately is the recruitment and retention. I just want to, kind of let you guys know on some things that you guys have been involved in that's really been great for us is we implemented that lateral program. I think you guys voted on that. We implemented that. That's been a great tool. We've got 3 new lateral hires totaling 40 years of experience here recently. That's kind of unheard of in police work here lately. Applicant Pro, I think it's actually got a new name since we got it, but that Applicant Pro is that tool that, we brought to you guys and that we got approved. We've got that up and going. I have, and I can't speak for the other departments, but I probably 2 or 3 times a week have a new application. I put out our part-time openings and got several of them, 2 of our, and several people have applied looking for full-time, so that's been a great thing, for us. We actually just, got one of our part-timers that really wants to go full-time and he's got 30 experience, through that program, so it's been a great tool for us. There's been an increased focus on, Master Officer Program, requires them to become an instructor, in a specialty. Part of the high-performing cities is to reduce cost. Part of the Master Officer Program I went in, Master Officer Program now is you gotta become an instructor, which saves us in a lot of ways, because we have in-house instructors to train our guys on, firearms and tasers and, use of force and, DT and stuff like that, so that's, been a good thing, and then, so I was looking through our budget. This has been a huge thing, and I didn't really realize it until I've been getting a lot of apps and doing a lot of recruiting. In our budget, and I don't know if the mayor came up with this or who did or where it came from exactly, but it talked about a 3-year plan to come up with, 1 year we do a market analysis, 1 year we do a dollar amount, 1 year we do a COLA. As I've had several officers come in, through so many applications we've gotten, that's been a huge, thing to a lot of guys, and it's got a lot of guys' interest in Pleasant View because we actually have a plan, a 3-year plan of raises and pay. And I just wanted to throw that in there because when you guys were talking about it and approving it, I didn't really much of it, but as I've had people apply and I've explained that to them, that's been huge. Like I know of one person that really wants to come on full time, and that was a really big thing to him. That hey, the city actually has a plan. 3 years, they're looking out 3 years. Most entities are like, yeah, in June, like see what happens in July. But I just wanted to throw that in there so that you guys were aware of that.
It's a good incentive
Yeah,
for retention.
yeah, just kind of a plan that they know what's going on. Looks like my computer skills, I didn't change the font on that one after I typed it in, but
But you got the truck in there. That's
yeah, yeah,
That looks awesome.
yeah. Alicia put the picture of the truck in there.
There you go.
So I just wanted to real quick go over our goals for the year that we're working on. Is we want to improve our recruitment and retention by 20% within our department, and we're well on track to do that. I've been shocked at how many applications we've had and how many people we've kept around and that. Identify and measure citizen satisfaction in 2025 and then increase it in 2026. Councilmember Mary and I have had a lot of conversations about this. And we actually had a few that I was like, I don't know how you want me to identify and measure citizen satisfaction, but that's where we talked about thinking outside the box.
Any ideas would be appreciated.
Yeah. So the original goal was to increase citizen satisfaction, and then I was like, well, increase it from what? And so,
You need to establish a baseline.
yeah, so we're thinking of ways to do that. We looked at reducing the 24-25 budget by 5% and then trying to maintain it for our next budget coming up. And I think we're gonna be able to do that. I think we did the math on it and it was just right at about 5%.
Yeah, I think we had a sort of that though, right? We were maintaining it this year and then reducing it next year. That was in my mind maybe, but either way, it's good.
Yeah, so we did, so from last year's budget to this year, we reduced it by 5 and then we're hoping again next year. The next one, we've already actually done really well on that one, reducing the detective backlog. Improving officers' value time and have a lot less wasted time. We've done that. And we're on track to continue to do that. One thing that is a big goal for me is to have all the employees identify a plan and goals to reach, career goals. When we do their evaluations, the chief used to do the evaluations department, which there was no problem with that. It worked. It was great. I've actually kind of changed to where they sit down with their first line supervisor, their sergeant, and he goes over their evaluation with them. Part of that evaluation that I like to focus on is their goals for their career, where they're going. I think that's it's good for them, and it's a really good retention tool if they sit down and have a goal of what they're looking for, and kind of adds so that when they sign up for training, they have a purpose to what training they've got coming up. So, and then I just put a quote in there at the end. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we are strangely loyal to daily acts of trivia.
Amen.
I did not come up with that myself. That's
I didn't come up with it myself either. I'm not gonna take credit for that one.
So there's just
A question real quick about the one that was about wasted time. Identify wasted time, or I mean, that can be tricky because to somebody's sitting down there, at least being visible, but doing a report, is that
Mhm.
wasted time? No, because they're being visible
Yeah.
and they're doing a report, or running radar doing,
Yeah.
they can multitask. I guess wasted time be sitting in here BSing or something, but I guess in order to, I just curious if you're in the process, or have you identified what you would consider wasted time,
Yeah.
or got their ideas of what wasted time
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and we're in the process, like I said, this is all, we're still in the process of it. The wasted time one is one that we've talked a lot about, because you run that with the public perception. Public perception is they're sitting at the park under a shade tree. And in reality, they're typing a DV report that takes 2 hours to type it,
Yeah.
And so that's something that we've had to really look at and try to evaluate. Also, like I said, they're not wasting time if they're on the side of the road
Right.
running radar, because they're doing exactly what we're paying them and hiring them to do. And so, yeah, we're still working with the officers and to try to identify
right.
what is wasting time.
I think that's important to work
over
with
the
them to
years-
see what they
yeah.
think wasted time is,
And,
because
and over the years, I've been part of it. I've got a lot of crap from,
That's-
we drive by Chevron, cops are always sitting down there drinking Coke, and I personally know, and I will, nobody convince me otherwise. I've learned more at break with senior fellow officers than I have anywhere in my career.
well, you guys get breaks too, so I mean,
Yeah, the debrief.
that's what they don't understand is you're never on lunch, or you're never on break.
No,
I mean, you might be sitting there, but things could change in a heartbeat,
Yep.
and a lot of times do, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
so,
it's always irritated even 40 years ago, so.
yeah. Like I said, it's a work in progress. It's something we're continuing to
So again,
learn
how
and
do you
do. I think
change
it's a
that
new
public
thing
perception?
for cities to apply this, but we're
Yeah.
we're trying.
I think,
You have
I-
more stuff? Can I make some comments?
sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you had more. or
No,
not.
go ahead. That's it.
Yeah, so I just want to thank Stetson and Tyson for their work on this. And they're embracing it. They're trying. This is something that lean manufacturing is something that every reputable business is doing. Sure, Honeywell's going crazy with this kind of stuff. Everybody's doing this to reduce cost and be more efficient. And it can be applied to a public entity. It takes some creativity to do it. And they're doing a great job of that. And it allows now, the police department now has, how many we have now? 12?
Yep.
12 full-time people. They're all working to the same goal. They're all now, they're learning these skills, and they're all thinking, hey, I think about this on my own and figure out how to apply this in my job, and have great suggestions that can come back to Tyson or to Stetson, which is great. And then the 5S particularly, that is really quick to know normal, abnormal. Anytime they can go look at a vehicle, they can go look at their office, they can go look anything in Tyson's area. It's really easy to see there that whether things are put away and in place where somebody has access to them. So really cool stuff. I'm hoping we can do the same with Tyson here soon, but I'm really grateful that they're trying and they're looking at it and they're really working hard at it. And there's some really amazing stuff. They're great ideas that come out. I didn't come up with the ideas. I was giving them the tools and let them go forward with it. It's really awesome. So, and anybody wants to join us anytime, meeting
When do you guys meet?
typically 4 o'clock on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday with Tyson and Stetson. So,
So is, I guess I'd have a question, an hour every couple of weeks is probably good for implementation, but sooner or later, we're gonna get a law of diminishing returns is gonna kick in and,
oh, we haven't even brushed the surface on this. We got lots to do. Is that what you're saying? I'm not
well,
sure.
yeah, I just, eventually, I just want to be value their time too, and I was like.
Oh, yeah.
So
well,
sooner or later, that's why I
if
said.
we want to
The law
pull
of
back,
diminishing returns will eventually kick in. I don't know when that point is, but let's just be mindful of that. I do have a question concerning police. We are going to go into a closed session because we have a lot of other stuff that needs to be discussed in closed session, but how are we doing school crossings right now? I mean, school's just back and so tick wise.
Yeah, few tickets, couple yesterday, we're getting probably 1 or 2 a day right now. I think it's less than last year, so I'm very appreciative of that. Crossing guards, we did get fully staffed with crossing guards and got a bunch of subs on the list, which really happy about that. But, yeah, I'm seeing less this year than I did at the end of last year. So hopefully that will continue. Hopefully we get down to where we have none. But from what I'm being told, the officers are writing a lot less than they did last year. I will say, last year we were able to get our detectives and that out in the school zones a little more so far this last week. And I mean, and we'll talk about it in our meeting. It's been a crazy week for law enforcement. I mean, they haven't been actually out in the school zones as much. The patrol officers have. But last year we almost had one in every school zone about every shift. So,
Okay.
but.
All right,
um,
thank you.
yeah.
Other business?
Can I just make one comment?
Sure.
Just 30 seconds or 10 seconds. I want to congratulate Dave on his volunteering his time for this high performing city thing. And I really appreciate Stetson giving us a report on what he's doing. Because I think that's outside the box and that's above and beyond really, that normal office that our city is going to be that much better because of Dave. And I'm not just slapping you on the back, but I think, if I talked to him over the last year or whatever, he says, I'm not getting a lot of support. And I just wanted to let you know publicly, I am supportive of this. We don't want to have it be a waste of time. And I agree with the mayor there, but I'm thankful.
Well, and I don't think it is,
No,
but
I'm
sooner or
I'm
later,
not
I
saying
know.
that, But I'm thankful.
Everything has.
that we were given a little report on something that's happening, because I really loved hearing that. I think that's great. I think all of the departments could and should improve a little bit.
Sure.
That's, they're not getting a lot more bodies right now. So we do have to work harder, not smarter, or smarter, not harder. Yeah, smarter, not harder. Because there is a limit on people. And we do ask a lot of our employees, and I appreciate everybody.
Yeah, we have great employees.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, other business, I'm just gonna hit, because Tyson, you're probably gonna want to leave, or you're gonna have to leave for the closing meeting, but do you got any other?
Just working through projects, trying to close some out and start some new ones. We'll have some changes with 400. Hopefully they're working towards that intersection opening up, and we've been working with the Weber School District, notify them what we're trying to do and try to keep ahead of the notices and keep projects moving and ever moving juggle. So
It's been very inconvenient for me to close 400 out, by the way. I have to go all the way
yes, I would imagine. Yeah, meeting with residents and trying to keep the peace and understand what's happening.
Yeah.
It's hard when they don't always see that full picture, and we do our best to try to explain what that goal is and
what was going on. That's it. And and then when, appreciated the information that you've given them, then they're like, when is it gonna be done? It's like, when it's going to be done.
Yeah, and there's always some struggles on them and hopefully we work through it and come to
No,
terms
easy
with
stuff.
everybody when there are issues, cause there are, so. But we'll continue to do that and the staff's been great trying to keep up on it as well and can't thank them enough. Thank you guys for your support.
Can I just jump on a project, which is the pickleball project? Thanks for your help with that, Tyson.
Yeah.
We still have a couple just odds and ends to work out. I know it looks like they're done, like they're beautifully painted. There's some nets on and stuff, but we still have to do, some electrical work and some
Yeah.
benches, things like that. So, but we're shooting for the open house, September 10th, 4 o'clock. And yeah, should be a good time. I think we might want to discuss is like, are we gonna allow people on the courts when they are completely done? Do we just hang tight?
They're like, oh, wait, hang tight for the ribbon cutting.
Yeah,
It's not that far away.
We told them in the pickleball chat that nobody's complained about that yet.
we're not quite done at this point anyway.
I think
so-
we'd allow them on the old course once, whatever. once that
The new
has-
courts, we're just waiting till September.
Well, we're not quite done, so.
Yeah.
But when we are done, I don't know. I mean, I guess if they get on them, we'll just soft close.
I don't
All right,
think-
before we go into a closed meeting, anybody else have anything that they need to hear? Andrea? No, okay. So I'd entertain a motion to go into a meeting to discuss character, competency, mental health, whatever all that is.
Go into a closed meeting, discuss character, competency and mental health or whatever.
Yeah, perfect.
I'll second the motion.
Is this a roll call vote?
I think so.
I think so. We'll make it one just again to protect, make sure we're doing it right. Okay, motion by Gibson, second by Marriott. Gibson,
Yes.
Marriott,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Arrington.
Yes.
I was trying to decide because Nelson was always before the last one. I was like, Nelson's excused. Okay, motion carries. All right, so we'll excuse you, Tyson. And is this one that has to be
Thank you.
recorded?
I don't think character competence, I don't think that is recorded.
Thanks, Tyson.
See you, Tyson.
Tyson, thank you.
Man. I guess we can do it right here.
You want me to close that door or?
Yeah.
Maybe sidearm.
No, that's.
We'll try to be brief. I mean,